do. I do. I do. I do. I do.
I now pronounce you man and wife.
I'm Vanessa Zoltan.
I'm Hannah McGregor.
And this is Hot and Bothered. Okay, we had to even figure out what the end of this movie is because
That's a lot of endings.
this movie has a lot of endings. So we have decided that the end of this movie starts with the wedding reception, which, to be clear, there are still 3 more songs.
Is that including or not including the end credits?
It's not. So there's still 5 more songs. So the first ending song that we get is When All Is Said and Done. We have this like very idyllic fairy lights, like norm porn wedding reception situation. It was supposed to be a wedding reception for Sophie and Skye. They're not getting married. Instead, Donna and Sam, who haven't seen each other in 20 years, are giving it a shot. These 2 kids can do it. And this scene is basically a toast that Sam is giving, saying that he's excited to be married. He's going to pay the bill. They're not too old for sex. And we get like this just panning of all of these people enjoying this wedding. And it's very cute. Then it transitions. And Hannah, I had not seen the stage play when I saw this movie. And the movie was ending. And I turned to my mom and I said, I can't believe they didn't do Take a Chance on Me. That's the best ABBA song. And then, don't worry, Hannah.
Take a chance.
And then Julie Walters gets inspired and she gets up on the table and starts singing Take a Chance to Bill, played by Stellan Skarsgård. And we're going to talk about this. I hate it so much. She chases him around and he is running away from her as she says, take a chance on me. She's like begging him to take a chance on her. Then that concludes, and we see Sophie and Skye going off in the middle of the night.
You missed the really important part where they all jump up and down on the crack in the patio so hard that the fountain of Aphrodite emerges and it becomes a wet orgy dance party.
I did. It's the best part. My kids and I always yell with Meryl Streep, it's Aphrodite!
And then everyone gets so wet.
And like shirts, everyone is ripping their shirts off.
Every shirt's coming
and
off.
I love that it's like older men, like not in typical Hollywood great shape.
Pierce Brosnan has a little bit of a dad bod and it's great.
It's so great and like not waxed, like in
hairy.
A great way. He's hairy and Meryl Streep is so into his body. And I'm like, yeah, I love it. Yes, they're just mosh dancing. This is Shake It Off Earthquake before Shake It Off Earthquake. It's incredible. Thank you, Hannah.
Yeah, really important.
Whew. I'm like embarrassed that I almost missed it.
And then
Sophie and Skye, I don't know why they're sailing off in the middle of the night, but they're sailing off in the middle of the night.
Vibes.
To their future together. And they're doing it because it's awesome. And Sophie hugs all 3 of her dads goodbye because she has decided it doesn't matter. The premise of this movie is that Sophie has one of 3 dads and she wants to know which one's her dad. And then the end of this movie is, who cares which one's her dad? So she hugs all 3 of her maybe dads and really hugs her mom and then goes off into the big wide world with Skye. And then during the credits, we have 2 just fabulous ABBA numbers in absolutely incredible disco outfits.
They're so good.
And I mean, it's just like shopping. I'm like, I want those boots and I want that skirt and I want that belt and I want those pants. Ugh.
I mean, I look at these disco outfits and I think everybody is so sweaty under those. There's not a single natural fiber to be seen.
No.
It's gross under there. But damn, it looks good.
I would like to think that the studio keeps this room like 3 degrees Celsius to help.
They're dancing in a walk-in freezer.
I would like to think.
You could like see everybody's breath. They edited that out in post.
Exactly.
Good.
That's what I'd like to think. Yeah. So what does this ending contribute to what the movie believes about love?
Okay. I think we probably have a different read of the Take a Chance on Me number.
Should we talk about that first?
Sure. Yeah. Because I think if that scene was played differently, it would feel more problematic to me. Like, I think I would be infuriated more by it. But it is so goofy.
It's very goofy.
It's so over the top and performative, and ends with this bonkers orgy where everybody is just wet and dancing together. That
and saying, take a chance, take a chance, take a chance.
Yeah. That it feels to me like the ending of this movie brings us back away from like marriage and the solemnity of finding the one right person to you, and back into this world of like, love is horny and fun and kind of random. Sometimes you just hook up with a hot person on an island. Like, we don't know that Rosie's looking for anything else than to get laid. And certainly everybody dancing wetly in a fountain suggests that anybody who wants to get laid at this wedding is getting laid.
So the dancing in the fountain is perfect.
Yeah.
It makes me cry, like, of happiness. I'm just like, this is so beautiful. I just love it so much.
The important revelation, Colin Firth comes out, Harry comes out in that scene and then is immediatally topless. They're like, he's gay, no shirt allowed. Gay
Take
men,
the shirt
gay
off
men
of him.
are not allowed to have shirts on.
But then Pierce Brosnan isn't either, but for different reasons.
Yeah.
I know. I love it. I hate Julie Walters looking pathetic chasing Stellan Skarsgård for the first couple minutes of this, when he is literally running away from her. And it's very silly. He's like climbing a ladder from her and she falls, and you know, it's like all very bad stunts on purpose, bad stunts. You can see that she's lying down and not dangling, right? Like it.
Yeah, it's very
She
goofy.
falls from a tree and he catches her, whatever. But for a movie that is so much about like women's joy, and yes, the sound of women's laughter and screaming is awesome. And like, I want women's lust to also be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
There's one moment in particular where he is running across a roof away from her, and she is crawling after him. And I hate it. And I feel like she's the butt of the joke. And I hate it.
Yeah, fair. I do like that in so many of these interactions, she is the initiator, that the women we see pretty consistently initiating any kind of romantic tryst.
Yes.
And taking control, right? Like at the end of the day, taking control over the terms of what they're going to look like. What do you think it contributes to what the movie believes about love?
I mean, I definitely think that this movie believes that middle-aged sex is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Pierce Brosnan is singing on his own this toast, and then Meryl Streep comes in to harmonize with him to say, and not too old for sex. And then she stops singing again.
She's like, I just have one important note to add.
And right, like, and Colin Firth is having a sexual awakening.
And Tanya gets to have a fun affair.
Yes.
With a boy who she has earlier on wrapped in a diaper to belittle him.
Yeah. That's also a tough scene. But yeah, it's just like life isn't ending when you're 20, right? Life doesn't end when you get married. Fun in late middle age.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. Just as an absolute side note, I gotta say, I am really surprised at how bad Pierce Brosnan is at singing.
Oh.
It's a real Russell Crowe in Les Mis moment for me, where I'm like, okay, wow. They did not cast you for this skill, huh?
No, I'm sure this is true for you too, right? Like, one of the hardest things for anyone to watch is someone embarrass themselves. My kids will watch like horror movies without covering their eyes, but they will cover their eyes and ears whenever Pierce Brosnan has to sing. They're like, no, he's embarrassing. Why didn't anyone tell him?
I think
it's so bad.
He's doing his best. And he's very charismatic. And so like,
I love him.
For me, it's not cringy, but he's not holding his own against Meryl Streep, I gotta say.
No, he's hot off James Bond, right? Like he's only not been James Bond for a few years, and this is what he chooses to do. And I love that. This is a great casting choice.
Yeah. You know who sings quite nicely is Colin Firth.
I was just
He has a really lovely voice.
It's not fair to put him next to Colin Firth, because Pierce Brosnan also can't dance. And Colin Firth can't dance in a charming way. And there's something about the Colin Firth of it all that you're like, you can't dance. Well, you're adorable. And you're still in control of your body. And like, you're still in control of your voice. And then Pierce Brosnan, you're like, no.
This is out of control.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's one thing that stood out to us. Pierce Brosnan, not a great singer. I mean, so many other good qualities. Like, he winks convincingly.
I mean, he's great at pining for Meryl Streep, which is like...
That's his main job.
Yeah, that is his main job.
Yeah.
And so he doesn't hold his own singing with her, but he holds his own acting in this dynamic with her.
Yeah.
And that's hard because she's so good.
Oh, man, she is so good. You know who else is so good? Christine Baranski. You know who else is so good? Julie Walters. Those three, the actual leads of the movie. Men, secondary. And the credits know that because in the two credit scenes, we get the three women first. And then in the next song, the men are allowed to come in their fun little disco outfits with their sashes / belt buckles with their names on them. In case we forgot which one was which we did.
I also think Amanda Seyfried is great in this movie. I just want to say.
I like her so much more in this movie than I have liked her in other things that she has done. I think she's really well cast for this.
I think she's truly wonderful in this. The other thing that stood out to me, Hannah, is in this, it's Aphrodite moment.
Mm-hmm.
Donna does not turn to her newlywed husband. She turns to her daughter.
Yeah, because this is for women.
This is for women. And I just, every time, you're like watching them get hosed down. And she is dancing with her new husband. And she's like, it's Aphrodite. And turns and holds her daughter's face.
Yeah.
And I love it.
Yeah. I also love there's a moment at the end of the first credits scene when Meryl Streep starts vamping to the camera. And she speaks, she breaks the fourth wall. Yeah, says, do you want another one? And it's, for me, like, that is the moment that most represents this movie's intense awareness of who its audience is and what exactly it's doing.
Our audience yelled back, yes.
Yes, we do. Thank you.
Yeah, we do.
Please. But this time with more costumes.
Yes. Please change costumes. More.
I want 5 more.
I will watch this whole movie again just as a concert film. Thank you. Okay, Hannah, what do you make of Colin Firth, Harry Headbanger coming out at the end of this movie?
I mean, it feels sort of token and unearned, but most of the emotional beats in this movie feel token and unearned to me, in the sense that I don't think it's failing at earning its emotional beats. I don't think it cares.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think a big part of him being gay at the end is like, well, at this final dance number, we're going to need some gay men, because it simply doesn't make sense for everybody to be having a wet dance party to ABBA and for them all to be straight. That would be bonkers. And so it's just like we reverse engineered, like, I guess him? We got to do something with all of these guys. But like, that's what it feels like for me. Like, it feels like it's there for the vibe, and the vibe requires some queerness because the vibe is camp and camp is queer.
Yeah, I just wish that they established him as queer earlier in the movie. And there's like no reason to me why they don't.
Yeah, there's a moment of it. So at the hen do dance in the movie, right? There's like a sort of, he has an exchange with a guy that Bill notices, because then in that conversation that Bill and Harry have the next morning on the boat, where they're like speaking to each other in shorthand and so misunderstand. They're trying to say to each other, I think that I am Sophie's dad, and both misunderstand, culminating in that excellent line when Harry says, well, you don't have to marry her. And Bill's like, wait, what? But in that scene, that's Bill is alluding to thinking that Harry is coming out. Yeah. And Harry is not. So there is, there's some preparation there. And then there's also a suggestion that he has been like a lifelong bachelor living alone with dogs. And that's also shorthand.
Who doesn't like sports.
Yeah, that's also shorthand for being gay. So I think it's kind of like it's there throughout, and it's in part about explaining why he is excited to have a daughter and to have connection without having any actual romantic attachment to Donna. And I think that like that kind of needs to be explained. Like, why would he be really stoked about showing up and maybe being a parent to this child and not have any skin in the game in terms of reconnecting with Donna romantically? I think that kind of like provides us with a tidy explanation for that as well.
And Bill, who is straight and also not interested in reconnecting with Donna, is also okay being 1/3 of Sophie's dad because he's game for an adventure.
Because he's game for an adventure, because he does not like to be tied down, because he's...
But then why not be like, I'd like the DNA test to be off the hook?
I mean, shrug. Like, again, that's not the point.
That's not the point. That's not the point. But here's why I love this movie, is because I do think he acts that moment in a way. Bill is the third of the three men to be like, me too, I'll take a third of Sophie. I'll take a third responsibility. And he does say it in a way of like, a third. I can take a third. I can't take more. Pierce Brosnan's character, right? Sam and Harry both are like, if all I can have of her is 1/3 of her, I would be honored to have 1/3 of her. And Bill does perform it in a way that's like, I do not want 1 cent more than 1/3 of this responsibility.
Honestly, just considering the emotional capacity of white men in their 60s, I think 3 dads is a good number. I think maybe combined, you'll have 1 decent parent. Sorry, Dad. He'll never listen to this.
Mine neither.
No, absolutely not.
My mom will, though. Thanks, Mama.
You could raise me alone in a Greek hotel anytime. Oh, goodness. Yeah. So I like 3 dads. And I like that there is in the conclusion of this big arc through the movie, who's her real dad, which she's like so sure that she'll know him. Like Sophie is so sure that she will recognize her bio dad when she sees him, which is like, oh, you really are 20, huh? You really grew up on an island, didn't you? That's a really weird thing to think. I like that everybody lets go of that like sense that the biological is what matters, and that instead it's like, this is a really great person who would be really cool to have in our lives. And like, it's important that Bill and Harry, despite not wanting to reconnect romantically with Donna, still have a sense that like she was somebody who was really important to them. That scene earlier on where Sophie spends a day with all 3 of them and they tell her stories about what the time that they spent with Donna was like. So like that feels a little bit earned to me, that sense that they would be interested in sticking around. But it also feels a little bit camp, right? That it's like the DNA test would be the attempt to be like, what's the truth here? And the movie's like,
right.
We don't care.
That's not the point.
We don't care. It's not about fathers. It's about quote unquote fathers. You can have all the daddies you want.
If you could rewrite this ending, Hannah, what would you change?
I would add 5 additional songs to the end credits.
Absolutely.
This movie comes in at a breezy hour and 48 minutes. And I think
there's no reason why it's not 4 hours.
There's a good reason why it's not 4 hours. I wouldn't have been able to watch it this morning before recording this episode. I would have had to get up at 5 a.m. and I'm not willing to do that. But it could come in at an even 2 and you could fit a number of additional credits songs in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, what about you, Vanessa? How are you rewriting this? You're getting rid of that crawling scene.
Yeah, I'm getting rid of her crawling. She says, if you change your mind, I'm the first in line. And he makes out with her.
Yeah, he's like, wow, lucky me. You're a famous cookbook author?
Yeah, and they're just making out all over this little Greek quad. And that's how it ends differently. And tell me my ending's not better.
No, I won't tell you your ending's not better. I won't do it. You can't make me. You've been listening to Hot and Bothered. We're a small show, so we need your support to run. If you can, please consider supporting on Patreon at patreon.com/hotandbotheredrompod. Love the show? Please leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. We're a Not Sorry production. Our executive producer is Vanessa Zoltan. We're edited and produced by Ariana Nettleman, and we're distributed by Acast.
We like to thank, as always, our soulmate level patrons, Molly Reilly, who we would chase through an airport to declare our love to, Becky Boo, who we would wait for hours on the top of the Empire State Building for, Elizabeth Schweinsberg, whose heart we would play a game of one-on-one basketball for, Lauren Byer O'Connell, who we would call up on stage to dance with us in front of the whole summer camp, Avi Lichtenstein, who we would make every person in the kingdom try on a shoe for, Kristen Hall, who we would travel through a time portal to spend the 19th century with, Shiri Yadlin, who we would write a sonnet about and read it in front of the whole class, Delia Rose, who we were majorly, totally, but crazy in love with, and Leia Goldberg, who we would carry on our backs as we jumped from tree to tree like a little spider monkey. And our wonderful team, Julia Argy, Nikki Zoltan, AJ Ramos, Courtney Brown, Anissa Ahmed, Danny Langley, and Stephanie Paulsell.